Thank you. Thank you, Speaker Nograles. Senate President Villar, Senators and Representatives, Vice President De Castro, President Ramos, Chief Justice Puno, members of the Diplomatic Corps, ladies and gentlemen. I address you today at a crucial moment in world history. Just a few months ago, we ended 2007 with the strongest economic growth in a generation. Inflation was low, the peso strong, and 1 million new jobs were created. We are all looking to a better, brighter future. Because tough choices were made. Kumikilos na ang bayan sa wakas. Malapit na sana tayo sa pagbalanse ng budget. We were retiring debts in great amounts, reducing the drag on our country's development habang namumuhunan sa taong bayan. Biglang-bigla, nabaliktad ang ekonomiya ng mundo. Ang pagtalon ng presyo ng langis at pagkain ay nagbunsod ng pandaigdigang krisis, the worst since the Great Depression and the end of World War II. Some blame speculators, moving billions of dollars from subprime mortgages to commodities like fuel and food. Others point to the very real surge in demand as millions of Chinese and Indians move up to the middle class. Whatever the reasons, we're on a roller coaster ride of oil price hikes, high food prices, and looming economic recession in the US and other markets. Uncertainty has moved like a terrible tsunami around the globe, wiping away gains, erasing progress. This is a complex time that defies simple and easy solutions. For starters, it is hard to identify villains, unlike in the 1997 financial crisis. Everyone seems to be a victim, rich countries and poor, though certainly some can take more punishment than others. To address these global challenges, we must go on building and buttressing bridges to allies around the world, to bring in the rice to feed our people, investments to create jobs, and to keep the peace and maintain stability in our country and the rest of the world. Yet, even as we reach out to those we need and who may need us, we strive for greater self-reliance. Because tough choices were made, the global crisis did not catch us helpless and unprepared. Through foresight, grit, and political will, we built a shield around our country that has slowed down and somewhat softened the worst effects of the global crisis. We have the money to care for our people and pay for food when there are shortages, for fuel despite price spikes. Neither we nor anyone else in the world expected this day to come so soon, but we prepared for it. For the guts not to flinch in the face of tough choices, I thank God. For the wisdom to recognize how needed you are, I thank you, Congress. For footing the bill, I thank the taxpayers. The result has been, on the one hand, ito ang nakasalba sa bayan. On the other, more unpopularity for myself in the opinion polls. Yet, even unfriendly polls show self-rated poverty down to its 20-year low in 2007. My responsibility as president is to take care to solve the problems we are facing now and to provide a vision and direction for how our nation should advance in the future. Many in this great hall live privileged lives and exert great influence in public affairs. I am accessible to you, but I spend time every day with the underprivileged and underrepresented who cannot get a grip on their lives in the daily all-consuming struggle to make ends meet. Nag-aalala ako para sa nakakaawang may bahay na pasan ang pananagutan para sa buong pamilya. Nag-aalala ako para sa magsasakang nasa unang hanay ng pambansang produksyon ng pagkain, ngunit nagsisikap pakanin ang pamilya. I care for hardworking students soon to graduate and wanting to see hope of a good job and a career prospect here at home. Nag-aalala ako para sa 41-year-old na padre de pamilya na di araw-araw ang trabaho at nag-aabala sa asawa at 3 anak at dapat bigyan ng higit pang pagkakakitaan at dangal. I care for our teachers who gave the greatest gift we've ever received, a good education, still trying to pass on the same gift to succeeding generations. I care for our OFWs, famed for their skill, integrity, and untiring labor, who send home their pay as the only way to touch loved ones so far away. Nagpupugay ako ngayon sa kanilang mga karaniwang Pilipino. My critics say this is fiction, along with other facts and figures I cite today. I call it heroism, though they don't need our praise. Each is already a hero to those who matter most, their families. I said this is a global crisis where everyone is a victim, but only few can afford to avoid or pay to delay the worst effects. Many more have nothing to protect them from the immediate blunt force trauma of the global crisis. Tulad ninyo, nag-aalala ako para sa kanila. Ito ang mga taong bayan na dapat samahan natin, not only because of their sacrifices for our country, but because they are our countrymen. How do we solve these many complex challenges? Sa kanilang kalagayan, the answer must be special care and attention in this great hour of need. First, we must have a targeted strategy with a set of precise prescriptions to ease the price challenges we are facing. Second, food self-sufficiency, less energy dependence, greater self-reliance in our attitude as a people and in our posture as a nation. Third, short-term relief cannot be at the expense of long-term reforms. These reforms will benefit not just the next generation of Filipinos, but the next president as well. napakahalaga ang value-added tax sa pagharap sa mga hamong ito. Itong programa ang sagot sa mga problemang namana natin. Una, mabawasan ang ating utang and shore up our fiscal independence. Pangalawa, higit na pamumuhunan para mamamayan at infrastruktura. Pangatlo, sapat na pondo para sa mga programang pangmasa. Thus, the infrastructure links program for our poorest provinces like Northern Samar, Lauang, Lapinig, Arteche, right now ay Maputik, San Isidro, Lope de Vega, the rehabilitation of Maharlika in Samar. Take that away, and you and I abdicate our responsibility as leaders and pull the rug from under our present and future progress, which may be compromised by the global crisis. Lalong lumakas ang tiwala ng mga investor dahil sa VAT. Mula 56.50 kada dolyar, lumakas ang piso hanggang 40.20 bago bumalik sa 44 dahil sa mga pabigat ng pandaigdigang ekonomiya. Kung alisin ang VAT, hihina ang kumpiyansa ng negosyo, lalong tataas ang interest, lalong bababa ang piso, lalong mamahal ang bilihin. Kapag ibinasura ang VAT sa langis at kuryente, ang mas makikinabang ay ang mga may kaya na kumukonsumo ng 84% ng langis at 90% ng kuryente, habang mas masasaktan ang mahihirap na mawawala ng 80 billion pesos para sa mga programang pinopondohan ngayon ng VAT. Take away VAT and we strip our people of the means to ride out the world food and energy crisis. We have come too far and made too many sacrifices to turn back now on fiscal reforms. Leadership is not about doing the first easy thing that comes to mind. It is about doing what is necessary, however hard. The government has persevered without flip-flops in its much criticized but irreplaceable policies, including oil and power VAT and oil deregulation. Patuloy na gagamitin ng pamahalaan ang lumalago nating yaman upang tulungan ang mga pamilyang naghihirap sa taas ng bilihin at hampas ng bagyo, habang nagpupundar upang sanggahan ang bayan sa mga krisis sa hinaharap. Para sa namamasada at namamasahe sa jeep, sinusugpo natin ang kotong at kolorum upang mapataas ang kita ng mga tsoper. Si Federico Alvarez, kumikita ng 200 pesos a day sa kanyang rutang Cubao-Rosario. Tinaas ito ng anti-kotong, anti-kolorum. Ngayon, 500 pesos a day na ang kita niya. Yan ang paraan kung paano napananatili ang dagdag pasahe sa 1 peso lamang halaga lang ng isang text. Texting is a way of life. I asked the telecoms to cut the cost of messages between networks. They responded, it's now down to 50 centavos. Noong Hunyo, nagpalabas tayo ng 4 na bilyong piso mula sa VAT sa langis. 2 bilyong pambayad ng kuryente ng 4 na milyong mahihirap. 1 bilyon para college scholarship o pautang sa 70,000 na estudyanteng maralita. Kalahating bilyong pautang upang palitan ng mas matipid na LPG, CNG o biofuel ang motor ng libo-libong jeepney. At kalahating bilyong pampalit sa fluorescent sa mga pampublikong lugar. Kung mapapalitan ng fluorescent ang lahat ng bombilya, makakatipid tayo ng lampas 2 billion pesos. Sa sunod na katas ng VAT, may 1 billion pesos na pambayad ng kuryente ng mahihirap. Kalahating bilyon para sa matatandang di sakop ng SSS o GSIS. Kalahating bilyong kapital para sa pamilya ng mga namamasada. Kalahating bilyon upang mapataas ang kakayahan at equipment ng mga munting ospital sa mga lalawigan. At para sa mga kalamidad, angkop na halaga. We released 1 billion pesos for the victims of Typhoon Frank. We support a supplemental Western Visayas calamity budget from VAT proceeds. As a tribute to the lives of Rodney Berdin, age 13, of Barangay Rombang, Belison Antique, who saved his mother, brother, and sister from the raging waters of Sibalom River. Mula sa buwang ito, wala nang income tax ang sumisweldo ng 200,000 o mas mababa sa isang taon, 12 billion pesos na bawas buwis para sa maralita at middle class. Maraming salamat, Congress. Ngayon, may 32 pesos na commercial rice. Natutugan na natin ang problema sa pagkain sa kasalukuyan. Nagtugumpay tayo dahil sa pagtutulungan ng bayan ng buong bansa sa pagsasaka, bantay presyo, at paghihigpit sa price manipulation sa masipag na pamumuno ni RT Yap. Sa mga LGU at religious groups na tumutulong dalhin ang NFA rice sa mahihirap, maraming salamat sa inyo. Dahil sa subsidy, NFA rice is among the region's cheapest. While we can take some comfort that our situation is better than many other nations, there is no substitute for solving the problem of rice and fuel here at home. In doing so, let us be honest and clear-eyed. There has been a fundamental shift in global economics. The price of food and fuel will likely remain high. Nothing will be easy. The government cannot solve these problems overnight, but we can work to ease the near-term pain while investing in long-term solutions. Since 2001, new irrigation systems for 146,000 hectares, including Malmar in Maguindanao and North Cotabato, Lower Agusan, Kaseknan and Aulo in Nueva Ecija, Abulog Apayao in Cagayan and Apayao, Adalam in Quirino and Isabela, among others, and the restoration of old systems on another 980,000 hectares have increased our nation's irrigated land to a historic 1.5 million hectares. Edwin Bandila, 48 years old, of Ugalingan, Carmen, North Cotabato, cultivated 1 hectare and harvested 35 kabans. 13 years ginagawa yung Malmar. My first Station of the Nation address, sabi ko, kung hindi matapos yun, sa Setyembre ay kakanselin kong kontrata, papapasukin ko ang engineering brigade, natapos nila. With Malmar, now he cultivates 5 hectares. We have seen how important irrigation is. Pangasinan is one of our largest rice-producing provinces, I think quite under-irrigated. Value-added tax will complete the San Roque Agno River project. The Land Bank has quadrupled loans for farmers and fisherfolk. That is fact, not fiction. You can check it. For more effective credit utilization, I instructed DA to revitalize farmers' cooperatives. We are providing seeds at subsidized prices to help our farmers. Incremental Malampayan national revenues of 4 billion pesos will go to our rice self-sufficiency program. Rice production since 2000 increased an average of 4.07 a year, twice the population growth rate. By promoting natural family planning and female education, we have curbed population growth to 2.04% during our administration, down from the 2.36% in the 1990s when artificial birth control was pushed. Our campaign spreads awareness of responsible parenthood regarding birth spacing. Long years of pushing contraceptives made it synonymous to family planning. Therefore, informed choice should mean letting more couples, who are mostly Catholic, know about natural family planning. From 1978 to 1981, nag-export tayo ng bigas. Hindi tumagal. But let's not be too hard on ourselves. Panahon pa ng Kastila, bumibili na tayo ng bigas sa labas. While we may know how to grow rice well, topography doesn't always cooperate. Nature did not gift us with a mighty Mekong like Thailand and Vietnam, and with our vast and naturally fertile plains. Nature instead put our islands ahead of our neighbors in the path of typhoons from the Pacific. So we import 10% of the rice we consume. To meet the challenge of today, we will feed our people now, not later, and help them get through these hard times. To meet the challenges of tomorrow, we must become more self-reliant, self-sufficient, and independent, relying on ourselves more than on the world. Now we come to the future of agrarian reform. There are those who say it's a failure, that our rice importations prove it. There are those who say it is a success, if only because anything is better than nothing. Indeed, people are happier owning the land they work, no matter what the difficulties. Sa SONA noong 2001, sinabi ko, bawat taon, mamamahagi tayo ng 200,000 hektarya sa reforma sa lupa, 100,000 hectares of private farmland, 100,000 of public farmland, including ancestral domains. Di hamak, mahigit sa target ang naipamahagi natin sa nakaraang 7 taon. 854,000 hectares of private farmland, 797,000 of public farmland, and certificates of ancestral domain for 525,000 hectares. Including over 100,000 hectares for the Bugkalots in the tri-boundary of Quirino, Aurora, and Nueva Vizcaya. After the release of their Kadti, Rosario Kama, Bugkalot chieftain, and now mayor of Nagtipunan, helped his 15,000-member tribe develop irrigation, plant vegetables and corn, and achieve food sufficiency. Mabuhay, Chief. Agrarian reform should not merely subdivide misery. It must raise living standards. Ownership raises the farmer from his knees, but productivity will keep him on his feet. Sinimula ng aking ama ang land reform noong 1963. Upang mabuo ito, the extension of CARP with reforms is top priority. I will continue to do all I can for the rural as well as urban poor. Ayaw natin na paglaya ng tenant sa landlord, mapapasailalim naman sa usurero. Former tenants must be empowered to become agribusinessmen by allowing their land to be used as collateral. Dapat mapalaya ng reforma sa lupa ang magsasaka sa pagiging alipin sa iba. Dapat bigyan ng magsasaka ng dangal bilang taong malaya at di hawak ninuman. We must curb the recklessness that gives land without the means to make it productive and bites off more than beneficiaries can chew. At the same time, I want the rackets out of agrarian reform. The threats to take and therefore undervalue land, the conspiracies to overvalue it. Be with me on this. There must be a path where justice and progress converge. Let us find it before Christmas. Dapat nating linisin ang landas para sa mga ibig magpursigi sa pagsasaka. Taglay ang pananalig na ang lupa ay sasagip sa atin sa huli kung gamitin natin ito ng maayos. Along with massive rice production, we are cutting costs through more efficient transport. For our farm-to-market roads, we released 6 billion pesos in 2007. On our nautical highways, Ro-Ro boats carried 33 million metric tons of cargo and 31 million passengers in 2007. We have built 39 Ro-Ro ports during our administration. 12 more are slated to start within the next 2 years. In 2003, we inaugurated the Western Nautical Highway from Batangas through Mindoro, Panayan Negros to Mindanao. This year, we launched the Central Nautical Highway from Bicol mainland through Masbate, Cebu, Bohol, and Camiguin to Mindanao mainland. These developments strengthen our competitiveness. Leading multinational company Nestle cut transport costs and offset higher milk prices abroad. Salamat, Ro-Ro. Transport costs have become so reasonable for bakeries like Gardenia. A loaf of its bread in Iloilo is priced the same as in Laguna, in Manila. Salamat muli sa Ro-Ro. To the many LGUs who have stopped collecting fees from cargo vehicles, maraming salamat. We are repaving airports that are useful for agriculture, like Zamboanga City Airport. Producing rice and moving it cheaper addresses the supply side of our rice needs. On the demand side, we are boosting the people's buying power. Ginagawa nating labor-intensive ang paggawa at pag-ayos ng kalsada at patubig. Noong SONA ng 2001, naglunsad tayo sa NCR ng patrabaho para sa 20,000 na out-of-school youth na tinawag Oyster. Ngayon, mahigit 20,000 ang ini-employo ng Oyster sa buong bansa. In disaster-stricken areas, we have a Cash for Work program. In training, 7.74 million took technical and vocational courses over the last 7 years, double the number in the previous 14 years. In 2007 alone, 1.7 million graduated. Among them, Jessica Barlomento, now in Hanjin as supply officer. Shen Vekatana, Marie Grace Comendador, and Marilyn Tusi. Lady Welders. Congratulations. In microfinance, loans have reached 102 billion pesos, or 30 times more than the 3 billion we started with in 2001, with a 98% repayment record. Congratulations. Major lenders include the Land Bank with 69 billion pesos, People's Credit and Finance Corporation 8 billion, National Livelihood Support Fund 3 billion, DBP 1 billion, the DSWD-SEAK 800 million pesos. For partnering with us to unleash the entrepreneurial spirit, thank you, Go Negosyo and Joey Concepcion. Upland development benefits farmers through agroforestry initiatives. Rubber is especially strong in Zamboanga, Sibugay, and North Cotabato. Victoria Mindoro, 56 years old, used to earn 5,000 a month as farmer and factory worker. Now she owns 10 hectares in the Goodyear Agrarian Reform Community in Cabasalan, Sambo, Sibugay, earning 10,000 pesos a week. With 1 hectare, Pedro and Concordia Fabiolas of Makilala, North Cotabato, they sent their 6 children to college, bought 2 more hectares, and earned 15,000 a month. Congratulations. Jetrofa estates are starting in 900 hectares in and around Tamlang Valley, in Negros Oriental, 200 in Kamsur, 300 in Jensan, 500 in Fort Magsaysay near the Cordero Dam, and 700 in Samar, among others. In our 2006 SONA, our food baskets were identified as North Luzon and Mindanao. The sad irony of Mindanao as food basket is that it has some of the highest hunger in our nation. It has large fields of high productivity, yet also 6 of our 10 poorest provinces. The prime reason is the endless Mindanao conflict. A comprehensive peace has eluded us for half a century. But last night, differences on the tough issue of ancestral domain were resolved. Yes, there are political dynamics among the people of Mindanao. Let us sort them out with the utmost sobriety, patience, and restraint. I ask Congress to act on the legislative and political reforms that will lead to a just and lasting peace during our term of office. The demands of decency and compassion urge dialogue. Better talk than fight, if nothing of sovereign value is anyway lost. Dialogue has achieved more than confrontation in many parts of the world. This was the message of the recent World Conference in Madrid, organized by the King of Saudi Arabia, and the universal message of the Pope in Sydney. Pope Benedict's encyclical Deus Caritas Est reminds us there will always be situations of material need where help in the form of concrete love for neighbor is indispensable. Pinagsasama-sama natin ang mga programa ng DSWD, DOH, GSIS, SSS, at iba pang lumalaban sa kahirapan sa isang National Social Welfare Program para proteksyonan ang pinakamahihirap mula sa pandaigdigang krisis and to help those whose earnings are limited by illness, disability, loss of job, age, and so on through livelihood projects, microfinance, skills and technology transfer, emergency and temporary employment, pension funds, food aid and cash subsidies, child nutrition and adult health care, medical missions, salary loans, insurance, housing programs, educational and other saving schemes, and now cheaper medicine thanks to Congress. The World Bank says that in Brazil, the income of the poorest 10% has grown 9% per year versus the 3% growth for the higher income levels, due in large part to their family stipend program linking welfare checks to school attendance. We have introduced a similar program, Pantawid Pamilya. Employers have funded the 2 increases in SSS benefits since 2005. Thank you, employers, for paying the premiums. GSIS pensions have been indexed to inflation and have increased every year since 2001. Its salary loan availments have increased from 2 months equivalent to 10 months, the highest of any system, public or private, while repayments have been stretched out. Pag-ibig housing loans increased from 3.82 billion in 2001 to 22.6 billion in 2007. This year, it experienced an 84% increase in the first 4 months alone. Superheating na. Dapat dagdagan ng GSIS at buksan muli ng SSS ang pautang sa pabahay. I ask Congress to pass a bill allowing SSS to do housing loans beyond the present 10% limitation. Bago ako naging Pangulo, 1.5 milyong Maralita ang may health insurance. Noong 2001, sabi natin, dadagdagan pa ng 0.5 milyon. Sa taong yun, mahigit 1 bilyon ang nabigyan natin. Ngayon, 65 milyong Pilipino ang may health insurance, mahigit doble ng year 2000, kasama ang 15 milyong Maralita. PhilHealth has paid 100 billion pesos for hospitalization. The indigent beneficiaries largely come from Central and West Visayas, Central Luzon, and Ilocos. Patuloy nating palalawakin itong napaka-importanteng programa, lalo na sa Tawi-Tawi, Zamboanga Norte, Maguindanao, Apayao, Dinagat, Lanao Sur, Northern Samar, Masbate, Abra, and Misamis Occidental, lalo na sa kanilang mga magsasaka at mangingisda. In these provinces, and in Agusan Sur, Caliga, and Surigao Sur, and calamity-stricken areas, we will launch a massive school building program at 10 pesos per child every school day. Bukod sa libreng edukasyon sa elementary at high school, nadoble ang pondo para sa mga college scholarships, while private high school scholarship funds from the government have quadrupled. I have started reforming and clustering the programs of DepEd, CHED, and TESDA. As with fiscal and food challenges, the global energy crunch demands better and more focused resource mobilization, conservation, and management. Government agencies are reducing their energy and fuel bills by 10%, emulating Texas Instruments and Philippine Stock Exchange, who did it last year. Congratulations, Justice Vitug and Francis Lim. To reduce power system losses, we count on government regulators and also on EPIRA amendments. We are successful in increasing energy self-sufficiency, 56%, the highest in our history. We promote natural gas and biofuel, geothermal fields among the world's largest, windmills like those in Ilocos and Batanes, and the solar cells lighting many communities in Mindanao. The new Gallup oil field can produce 17 to 22,000 barrels per day, 1/12 of our crude consumption. The Renewable Energy Bill has passed the House. Thank you, Congressmen and Congresswomen. Our costly commodity imports like oil and rice should be offset by hard commodity exports like primary products and soft ones like tourism and cyber services, at which only India beats us. Our $350 million training partnership with the private sector should qualify 60,000 for call centers, medical transcription, animation, and software development, which have a projected demand of 1 million workers, generating $13 billion by 2010. International finance agrees with our progress. Credit rating agencies have kept their positive or stable outlook on the country. Our world competitiveness ranking rose 5 notches. Congratulations to us. We are sticking to and widening the fiscal reforms that have earned us the respect. To our investors, thank you for your valuable role in our development. I invite you to invest not only in factories and services, but in profitable infrastructure, following the formula for the Tarlac-Pangasinan-La Union Expressway. I ask business and civil society to continue to work for a socially equitable, economically viable balance of interests. Mining companies should ensure that host communities benefit substantively from their investments and with no environmental damage from operations. Our administration enacted the Solid Waste Management Act, the Wildlife Act, Protection of Plant Varieties, Clean Water Act, Biofuels Act, and various laws declaring protected areas. For reforestation, for next year, we have budgeted 2 billion pesos. Not only do forests enhance the beauty of the land, they mitigate climate change, a key factor in increasing the frequency and intensity of typhoons and costing the country 0.5% of the GDP. We have set up over 100 marine and fish sanctuaries since 2001. In the whale shark sanctuary of Donsol, Alan Amance, 40-year-old college undergraduate and father of 2, was earning 100 pesos a day from fishing and driving a tricycle. Now, as whale shark watching officer, he earns 1,000 pesos a day, 10 times his former income. For clean water, so important to our health, we have 500 million pesos this year and 1.5 billion for next year. From just one sanitary landfill in 2001, we now have 21 with another 18 in the works. We launched the Zero Basura Olympics to clear our communities of trash. Rather than more money, all that is needed is for each citizen to keep home and workplace clean and for garbage officials to stop squabbling. Our investments also include essential ways to strengthen our institutions of governance in order to fight the decades-old scourge of corruption. I will continue to fight this battle every single day. While others are happy with headlines, through accusation without evidence, and privileged speeches without accountability, we have allocated more than 3 billion pesos, the largest anti-graft fund in our history, for real evidence gathering and vigorous prosecution. From its dismal past record, the Ombudsman's conviction rate has increased 500%. Lifestyle checks, never seriously implemented before our time, have led to the dismissal and/or criminal prosecution of dozens of corrupt officials. I recently met with the Millennium Challenge Corporation, a U.S. agency that provides grants to countries based on governance. They have commended our gains, contributed 1 billion pesos to our fight against graft, and declared us eligible for more grants. Thank you. Last September, we created the Procurement Transparency Group in the DBM and linked it with business, academia, and the church to deter or catch anomalies in government contracts. On my instruction, the BIR and Customs established similar government civil society tie-ups for information gathering and tax evasion and smuggling monitoring. More advanced corruption practices require commensurate advances in legislative responses. Colleagues in Congress, we need a more stringent Anti-Graft Act. Sa pagmahal ng bilihin, hirap na ang mamimili. Tapos dadayain pa. Dapat itong mahinto. Hinihiling ko sa Kongreso na magpasa ng Consumer Bill of Rights laban sa price gouging, false advertising, at ipapanggawain kontra sa mamimili. I call on all our government workers at the national and local levels to be more responsive and accountable to the people. Panahon ito ng pagsubok, kung saan kayang tumulong at dapat tumulong ang pamahalaan. We must be there with a helping hand. Where government can contribute nothing useful, stay away. Let's be more helpful, more courteous, more quick. Kaakibat ng ating mga adhikain, ang tuloy na pagkalinga sa kapakanan ng bawat Pilipino. Iisa ang ating pangarap, maunlad at papayapang lipunan kung saan ang magandang kinabukasan ay hindi pangarap lamang bagkus natutupad. Sama-sama tayo sa tungkuling ito. May papel na gagampanan ng bawat mamamayan, negosyante, pinunong bayan at simbahan, 10 na mga nasa lalawigan. We are 3 branches, but 1 government. We have our disagreements. We each have hopes and ambitions that drive and divide us, be they personal, ethnic, religious, and cultural. But we are one nation with one fate. As your president, I care too much about this nation to let anyone stand in the way of our people's well-being. Hindi ko papayagang humadlang ang sinuman sa pag-unlad at pagsagana ng taong bayan. And I will let no one and no one's political plans threaten our nation's survival. Our country and our people have never failed to be there for us. We must be there for them now. Maraming salamat. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat.
On the part of the Senate, the joint session is adjourned.
On the part